Did we hear it? First of all, did we
Yeah,
hear it or did we just?
I don't think it was an original plan.
Right.
They just I got a job at the newspaper.
hmm we were both two characters coming out of other storylines
Hmm.
that were fairly dynamic and had a lot going on. And we were, I think someone at some point said, well, let's just, what can Jennifer do next? And Jack was in a position where he was kind of persona non grata with most people and just working at a newspaper. And Jennifer had just oh, you hadn't even graduated yet
No,
from high school. It starts sounding crunchy.
that
And
sounds
so we said, well, Jennifer's
I
gonna,
can't remember. I was young,
yeah, young and
and you
sun.
were grouchy
Yes,
at
that's
the
grouchy.
newspaper. So I
Grouchy.
just got a job at the newspaper.
That's right. Came to work kind of for me at the newspaper, and we're just gonna work. And she's gonna
Yeah,
work for me, and I'm figuring out what working is.
yeah,
And that was what was fun because we realized it was a workplace storyline, and but they didn't say anything really to us. We
no,
just started working together.
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
I guess they see things because they're in charge, so
Mhm.
they start to see things on camera that we don't even see, and then they slowly started, having us fight and
Well, we fought about things that were important
yeah,
to, Missy's character she had strong opinions about a storyline, a story, and my character, Jack, had strong ideas about what a good story was and what a bad story was or wasn't. And I decided I'm going to teach you. So I
yeah.
decided I know everything and
And for
you
some
don't
reason, yeah, I wasn't afraid of you. Maybe I was too young
to know better.
to know better.
Yeah, I mean, just because we were just talking about because we were working and the
Yeah.
issues that were taking place. And one thing she came in and said, "I want to do this story about a horse," and now it just sounded funny when they showed us
I
this
know
this
when you go
clip,
back and watch that.
and like we watched, and I'm saying, "Well, okay, a story about a horse. I will see." I mean, it just, ooh, but it worked, but we kept Missy's character just kept pushing for more. And it just we didn't have any pressure. We had no pressure on
Yeah,
us except just to
that's so
play,
true.
and that's what was really nice.
There wasn't that thing like, oh, we're putting you together now, make it work. It
Yeah,
was more like you're going to work at the paper, you're going to work at the paper.
yeah. And there was
That
just
was it.
it was lots of things going on, and there was always an opportunity for the news and just and we'd show up and doing things, and she was always going further than I would expect it to, and I would try to control her, which was probably the worst instinct I could have because she was
Because we
uncontrollable.
are the Hortons.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, so we were able to discover things and I learned.
Hortons taught me.
Yeah, and I learned about Alice and I learned about Tom, from now I'm dealing with family and everything like that. It was good because it started off in such a neutral space.
Yeah.
It wasn't loaded like anything stepping towards Steve and Kayla was loaded. And because they were this set thing, whatever that was, and we didn't suddenly we're kind of free of that and we're able to kind of just get to work in Salem.
Yeah.
do you
We
remember
watched.
getting a sense that it was working or that it was going toward a more romantic direction?
Well, we were sort of just like poking at each other for so many months, right? I mean, we were
Poke and
just
pick.
like, and then we were like, oh, I think I remember going, oh, I think they're trying to put us together.
Well, there was still Frankie. There was still, I
Yeah,
mean, she
Frankie.
had she had love interests of people who were, and I started realizing, my interest in her as a comrade in the news. Suddenly, I was trying to make decisions about who she should and should not be with, and because I always said, you could do so much better than that guy.
Right.
And I was
Wasn't that,
always
was that Emilio?
oh,
Yeah.
when we got to Amelia, yeah.
Emilio.
I mean, I would just try to mess up her dates and mess up this and mess up that. Just try to, like, what are you, and she could look at me like, what are you doing? And I never, and I was like, just, kind of like, I'm looking out for you. But I never said that. I was just
Right.
like, he's not good enough for you. Him, you could
Right.
do better than that.
Our
And
pairing was not the norm.
no, it was not the
Yeah.
norm. That's what it kind of became, not the norm. And Missy's character has come to find so sweet and kind and considerate and good, a good person. And if there was anything if this relationship was going to happen, Missy and her character was going to have to do it. That was the big, they
because
put,
you had raped Kayla at that point.
Yeah,
Like you were,
yeah.
you were.
There's the R word. Yes. So my
You were
character,
not like the
I
town.
not well, just not even not liked. I didn't like myself, and I
Yeah.
didn't like. And I said I have a fear of intimacy, and I mean later on they come out and years later whatever they bring out your pajamas and they bring out the pajama bottoms and like, well, where's the top? Oh, we're giving that to Miss. No, I need it. I need my top. And then I button up and I buttoned all the way up to the top of my neck, and they looked at me like, really? You can do that? I'm like,
That was
yeah.
amazing.
And I said, well, what about when I said, well, the lights will be off, right? Because I'm a lights off guy. I mean, but this is years before that. I just said,
Yeah.
I am traumatized by this thing as much as Kayla is. And
Yeah.
so I had all these feelings, but I just had so afraid to take action on them. So it really was up to Missy and Jennifer to take the lead, and that to the point of really getting out of your comfort zone for both of us to do that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes, it was, which made it fun. It was a fun challenge too.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of fun to be those characters that people could laugh with in their humanity and not take each other so seriously. And
Well, we were laughing at our characters before anybody else did. Just
Yeah,
we thought so many silly. We were in such
Yeah.
silly situations or emotionally silly that we both knew. Oh, Jack thinks he's so cool. He thinks he's so.
and the writers obviously
Yeah,
saw
they
that too,
picked-
because
yeah.
then they just started writing these amazing scenes.
Yes.
I mean, we'd be throwing plates at each other, fighting and
really
making each other laugh.
really meant it.
Yes.
Really meant it. But what were we really saying underneath? We couldn't.
Right.
I couldn't say. We couldn't say. We were arguing about an important point, and
And we just started talk, like obviously you can tell we both like to talk. So our lines were always going like this all the time. Like, I don't know if you remember Moonlighting, but I feel like we were like Sybil Shepherd and Bruce
Yeah.
Willis, like this constant, like bam, 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 bam. And then the writers started writing that, which was so fun.
yes. I mean,
And,
there was another TV.
The writers
couple-
really created, so much of what we did. It was so fun.
There's I can't even remember the name of the series, but two actors on another one of that type of show. They were even wrote in. Oh, we got to stop and watch Jack and Jennifer.
How funny.
It was.
What was that?
It was another he and she. I'll remember in a minute.
Oh, how funny.
But it was like because there were people watching, and they were watching us. And I said just because we thought the difference is romance can be funny.
Yeah.
It's okay to laugh, and it's okay to laugh at yourself. And sometimes we laugh, and sometimes you laughing with your partner may be the best thing that you could do if your ego can handle it. And my character had a pretty fragile ego on many cases, but I think underneath and for a much longer time, Jennifer and Missy, whatever, she won my trust, and you realize that becomes such currency. That trust that is built by other characters through other activities, other things they did, saving lives and stuff like that.
And we built a relationship at work, through the newspaper.
Mhm.
Didn't start out as this
And-
great romance.
and there was
then
respect.
Slowly, yeah.
There was
yeah.
respect that built slowly and surely through this thing and that thing and
Mhm.
this thing and that thing, and realize I really do like this person. I really, I'm really happy for you. And to build on those kind of things, it was like a real thing as opposed to, some made up thing. Now there's plenty of stories that were kind of crazy and out there, but we
Yeah. I just love it. The writers sort of saw this quirky thing between us and they really went with it because
Yeah.
without all the scenes that they had written for us, I mean, the scenes were so good. I would get so excited to get our scripts. I would be
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing
WW,
tonight?
yeah. Yeah, a lot of just a lot of backing and forthing, and
Yeah.
it's just it was very fun. It was fun to do that, and we'd be plugged into other storylines. I mean, the cruise of deception,
Yes.
where everybody had a part, but our part was particularly our own.
Yeah.
And we were able to explore other things that other people didn't, and they explored things that we didn't, and our paths would cross in this way or that way. But it was kind of fun because they had different points of view to be able to explore this same activity, and that was great because there was nobody trying to make us do something. I mean, a few times they put me on a motorcycle and wanted me to kind of roll up and do something, and I roll up. They're like, "Whoa, help me out!" You know, like don't run off the dock. And then eventually they just went in and put Missy on the front and let her drive, and I was behind her holding on. And I said, because I said, we've done this, you've done this, and there's other people around here who do it way better than I do it. So let me do it my way. And Missy was game; she was able to go along with it, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. I mean, Jennifer and Frankie were so sweet, and I loved their pairing. But then I think as I grew as a woman on the show, then all of a sudden this is a challenge, and there's like that spicy side of Alice Horton, you know, that sort of raised me up. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, I kind of like this. I kind of like this push and pull, not so sweet. Now I'm sort of like mean flirting we were kind of doing. It was like
Murdering.
We were murdering.
Yes.
But I think that's, you know, how we grow, how we mature. And then but I did love growing into this part with Mathew, because I knew Matt had come from such a history of soaps, and I knew what a pro he was. So I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be, you know, a rally. This is going to be fun. And, you know, we always say you can't really, like they could put you in a scene with someone and you can try really hard to, you know, make something happen. But Matt and I just sort of fell into this rhythm of speaking and working. And even now, like we won't see each other for years, and then we'll come back on stage and we're like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Well, Missy has a gift of, I mean, and it's one of the most important parts of acting is she really listens, and she is present for, and I was throwing out some crazy stuff and she would feel it and went, oh, because I worked with some other people around that same time who were waiting for their
That
light
word.
or that word or just, you know, they're my thing and your thing. And I come to realize, oh, this is really pretty special. And so we were able to, you know, I would go out on a limb with something. And one time I messed up a line and we were supposed to sing balustrade, balustrade, balustrade. And it was a obvious flub. And most of the time we just cut. And I went, straight, straw, I don't know. We're going to do it. Whatever we're going to do. And she started laughing. I said, yeah, you're laughing, but you know, we're going to do it. And we finished, and they realized at that point they weren't going back. They weren't going to go back and clean that up. I said that was an actual moment between two people who were just trying to figure something out.
And I think the challenge is to always keep going. And I think that they ended up taping things that they didn't expect to get because we were just kind of going. And then they were like, oh, we might keep that.
Yeah, look at that.
Look
Look at that.
So
As long
silly.
as it's not, yes, it was silly or strange or what did he say? And what did you do?
Yeah.
You know, it was, and it was, that's what became more fun as we were able to play with it. And there were people who said, I was only watching on Mondays and Fridays, but I realized you guys do things on Tuesdays and Thursdays that I can't miss, you know? And I realized, oh, that's cool. That means, you should watch the show because we all were hoping that there's always something that's going to happen. Yes, the information it can be gone again, but we don't play it the same, and we're not the same people. So I tried to think of that. We also used to have sound cues.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We used to have sound cues. They plug it in like, here comes Jack and Jennifer, or something, and they plug the same thing in. But the sound guy who created this music and put it in, he said, I have to tell you guys this. I come in the morning at 5 a.m. and I plug in everybody's cues, and they play to their cues, and they're just there. But I realized it stopped working when you guys started working together. They wrote a sad scene, so I put in all the sad cues, and then it come out funny. Or you write there'd be a funny scene, and then there'd be something sad in it. He said, I had to watch your work, and then write the cues to that. And I said, thank you. I'm taking that as a compliment.
But I will say one of my favorite things in the super couple era with all of the couples, you were saying Mondays and Fridays, is every Friday afternoon on our show. It was always my favorite episodes. I was such a fan of these. And it was when Amy and Marty were doing our music.
Yeah.
They would do these video montages at the end of all music. and they would show all the couples in their state of whatever,
Yeah.
arguing, love, and I think that was just such a trademark of our show also during that super couple time.
Okay.
I just
okay.
thought that was
Yeah.
incredible.
Keeping you up on where everybody was at, and it was okay to be in the this, that, yes, and a lot of beautiful music.
Yes.
That you can't discount the music.
Yeah.
It helped. Although we never heard the music really until afterwards. I mean, I had John Addison tell me, "Don't twirl the mustache." Years before, and again, this is like one of the big baddies, and he just said, "You haven't heard the music yet. You don't know." So when you hear the music, you realize they're taking you most of the way there. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
So it was a great lesson for us as well. But it's we got to play the romance of The Office, the romance of two people on the outside looking in two different directions and finding themselves together. And we did find it over time, but it wasn't.
And again, the writers
the writers they had it, and they were putting something together, and they saw something we did, and we played something they wrote, and
so we didn't have to do all the like crying and I mean, we did have our heartache at different points when you gave me the jade plant in the rain. Remember that?
Well, because it was raining. There were
some sad scenes.
We did, yes, and we had
most of the time we got to have fun.
Yes, we did. We had fun with jade plants too. We had fun with little shell rings. We had these things would show up, and
we would start laughing
because we knew what it was.
How are we gonna get through these scenes? Because we're gonna laugh because he's giving me a plant in the pouring rain.
And like, what's that all about?
Yes,
but they all supposedly meant something.
Yes, and
the jade plant lasted for years and just got bigger and the thing that wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
But then they had so we have these things, and you have to play them out and realize, oh, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing. And as long as we didn't
now on our way down the hall here, we're like, man, like our hips are hurt, like
oh my hip.
He's doing this thing. Now we're like talking about how old we are, just trying to walk down the hall.
Just getting down the hall here. Just like we're meshing with the building. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
It's and doing things. We used to throw ourselves into.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh.
Stunts. And...
over the cliff, up the thing. We did a few of those too. I mean, my hat's off to everybody who has done their stunts over the years here, because things can happen, and more often than not, they'd rather see your face in the shot. So there's a chance that something happened because we go pretty quick, but. Missy had her share of, they just said, "Oh, Missy, you're going to go up on this rope at our wedding," and suddenly she's up there flying around, and
it was universal.
It was a universal wedding, yes, and but she was sewn into her dress, and my concern was, and she said,
couldn't go to the bathroom,
just can't
the whole day.
It's like, you're my hero.
And then I had this whole poem that I had to say to Matt. And I thought, well, surely I can read it. Like I brought it with me to our wedding, I'll read it off the paper. And I remember Al Raven, he goes, no, you have to know that. You're not reading it off the paper. And here I am, like sewn into the dress, can't go to the bathroom. Now I have to memorize like this 2-page beautiful poem.
Beautiful.
And I didn't want to wreck it.
No. Fortunately, they didn't give it to me.
Stories.
Yes. I just had to stand in the sun and squint. They put two blue-eyed people in the bright sunlight to get married. It was the hardest part of the wedding, squinting at each other.
Squinting if you can.
If you can. Yes. All the rest of the stuff is like fun. So much fun.
Oh, but that was the funny story too, because here we're like, oh, this is so fun. We get to do all the funny stuff. And then at that time, everyone's traveling all over the world on these location shoots. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's our time.
Where are we going to go?
Where are we going to go? They're like, oh, we're just going down the street to Universal. And we were like, of course. They say, you guys want to be funny, you don't get to travel.
Yeah. You guys bring your funny with it. Yeah.
You can't go to Mexico if you're funny.
No, Mexico. No Greece. No, thank you.
No beautiful location.
Yeah, it's okay.
We had fun. It was fun.
We have fun where we are.
Goodness.
Well, we learned
that house that fell on us.
That was supposed to fall. And the one thing they tell us in all this stuff is like, just keep your foot on the pedal.
Yeah, I'm sitting on Matt's lap, and it's like a box this big. And we have to stay.
So it'll hit
box.
you.
Like, don't put your body part.
It'll take off your arm, your head, anything else. and keep your foot down. And said, oh yeah, that seems like, but you have to go there and then sit down and do it.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing I didn't do. For some reason, I raised my foot, and the house comes down and goes screeching
Wall
of house, like crashing down just past us and stopped.
Go back and watch that. That was
Well, we obviously didn't use that.
Yeah,
we had to do it again.
Yeah.
Because that's their big funny moment.
Yeah.
But you gotta like keep your foot down. And I'd learned to ride a horse, so I could not ride a horse, and
That's right.
just
yeah.
fun. It was just fun stuff. It was a fun day, but it was a big company day for everybody. And just like Cruise of Deception, there was work to be done, and there could be some playtime, but everybody had work to do and get in and do it and everything. I mean, they're shooting this huge sinking ship, and Al Rabin, the producer at that time, took us into the next studio over. And he said, "You're going to do your cabin scenes," and it was 100 pages.
I remember that. We had 100 pages.
And he looked at us. He said, "Go," and we just started at the top and just went all through it. And he just said, "Okay," and he stayed out there with us.
One at a time.
One at a time. We did them all. And at the end, it was like, "Okay, very good. Let's get back over to the other side." And like that's what I expect you to do. And
I remember crying. I was like, "Honey, their kid can't memorize all this."
Mm-hmm.
But we did it. Yeah.
We did it.
You just do one at a time.
Yes. But when it's time to do that stuff, you do it. And now people look back and go like, that was so much fun. And there's people now who are trying to help other people get hip to Days of Our Lives. And they're saying, okay, you have to watch this, and you got to see, this is John and Marlena, and this is Roman, and this is Bo, and this is Hope, and this is this. So you go watch these things. Then this is the Jack and Jennifer. It's like they're box sets or something.
Yeah.
And they said, if you really want to know this show, you got to see where these people came from.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool when you realize it's almost like gatekeepers. People are trying to help everyone get hip to what this show's about.
And so incredible to still be here after all these years.
And to talk about people that are now no longer with us, but still cast a big shadow and big, have a big effect on us. That's what's kind of fun. And all the fun that we've had the last few years, we have become more either doting grandparents or worried grandparents or parents of children making questionable choices. And it's harder, but it's made me realize all those wonderful actors who came before us, who turned to us and said, "Oh yes, Jennifer, here, have a donut," and or Jack, just sit down and listen for a minute. I mean, they played for us. They supported us as we did that. So I realized, it all turns around if we get a chance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I always remember the one where I threw all those plates at you.
She had a good mean arm. I realized my
like
brain
a whole set of plates.
and they
I was just throwing,
and they were hitting
one after the next.
Yeah, and the guys were laughing. The cameramen and the boom. They were because she was coming dangerously close. She had a good arm.
And we had to say all those lines in between.
And say the lines in the bit, but she wasn't like kind of nailing me. She was nailing me.
And then I think I threw a baseball out a front door and broke the glass out of that when you were leaving.
Yes.
I mean, we were downright violent.
Well, there were some dangerous things, but
we were really fun.
They were great. I think for me, I was like push the envelope. How far can we go with this? And like I said, Jennifer had to continually put herself out there to try to connect. And I was just merciless in either running the other direction or just kind of putting up one more wall. And we were in the middle of I don't even remember what the setup was, but it was some place that we were at. She just said, I'm tired. I need to take a bath. And she went to take a bath.
Oh,
and she went to take this bubble bath. And
that's right.
And I had to knock on the door to say one more thing. And I came in, and because the room was so small in this hotel, I tripped and fell into the tub, into her bubble bath, came right down in her lap, so went underwater under the suds, and I came up with like this bubbles, white beard, and And it was supposed to be very, very funny. It was funny, that happening. But it had finally, something had just snapped, and Missy did something different. She just got to the point, she said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And it suddenly, all the fun just went zoom, just dropped out of it. And it got really crunchy. I got embarrassed for my character.
And then was that when you were outside the bathroom door?
Eventually I was outside the bathroom door again. I had to get out of the tub.
That's when we started to get a little more serious.
Well, it was serious, but I had pushed it to the point where she said, if you don't care, basically, if you don't care about me, don't do this. Don't put yourself in front of me anymore. Don't do this. And I said it was a really raw, painful moment where she was just showing her heart, saying, if you can't love me and don't love me, that's okay. Just don't do this anymore.
Right.
And I really realized I'd overstepped. My character it was funny, and then it wasn't funny. And then getting out of that room and getting out of there, realizing how much I'd screwed this up was this terrible, wonderful, bittersweet moment that I felt that like we'd arrived at something. I'd arrived at something, and Missy, together we'd arrived at something. So I said, we just gone to another level, not higher, but deeper. And so I couldn't do that anymore. So it was great. It happened organically, because I don't think it was another one of those moments. It was supposed to have something funny to it. Then it became very honest and very, very real, very fast. So that for me was a moment when it played. It just played.
Mm-hmm.
It played.
Yes. Oh, yes. That talk show that we did in the living room.
Talk show in the living room.
Oh, good golly.
In the house.
In the house with Jack and Jennifer.
Yeah, well, it's.
I mean, talk about trying not to laugh every day.
Well,
we just felt so silly. We were like, what are we doing?
Well, we kind of knew what we were doing. We were just presenting and just being there, but we weren't able to kind of go behind the scenes and really do. And if we had a problem with it, the kind of fun that people could do now with some behind the scenes network type stories, we weren't exactly doing that. We didn't have the time for that. So it just seemed like we were kind of just being slightly humorous just for
the house. I can't really remember the name of that. Wow.
Sometimes trauma just sticks with me. It wasn't bad. And again,
we're like, they don't know what to do with us.
Yes. That's a little bit what it seemed like. They don't know what to do with us. And so we kind of did that for a while, and it worked, but you realize, well, in the house, unless we can get people to come to the house,
right?
We're not gonna have much.
Yes.
No, I don't barely remember anybody.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
That was a hard one.
And yes, the shell rings and the jade plants and the
I love that.
And the kachi ring. There was something. There's a kachina.
The kachina doll.
Doll. And these are things and realized, but we got them. And then we had to make fun of them and laugh our way through them just to get to the point where we said, we're done laughing. Now we have to be serious. Now we have to be serious, or Missy would be serious. I'd let it go to the last moment. But because those are the times I said, okay, this is the kind of this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. But we had to give ourselves enough time to.
Yeah. Did you not like In the House either?
No, just because I felt like we weren't really.
Yeah. I know.
We weren't doing.
Did you like one? Was there a storyline you didn't like?
Well, the Jennifer getting raped storyline was not pleasant. And I knew where it was going. I knew what it had to be.
Yeah.
I loved working with Michael Sabatino and everything around that.
He was great.
But it brought that same issue up again and again. And I guess it was the way we had to do it. But I thought like, oh my gosh, this character has to go through so much. Jennifer and so many of the women on the show have to go through so much stuff. They'd all be on the couch, the trauma.
Yeah.
What can we do? Anyway, it was there are just elements that we sometimes have to play when you realize you can't help. I have to say, now this is us more recently. When I came to really realize that the storyline with Marcy, with the character of Abigail, that it was mental illness and that there was multiple personalities and all this stuff, I thought, this is really, really scary. This is really, and Missy had been doing it already. She had already been dealing with these issues. I went, oh, we're dealing with some real stuff. Now, I'm not the person who has the issue, but it's my child. And I've had experience where you can walk into a room with someone and you don't know, or the hair can go up in the back of your neck because you can feel that you're with someone who's not all right. And so that could be really real to me. So it was a very much of a challenge to, as a parent, take that serious with my child, because mental illness issues are so there's so many people who watch television to escape their issues. They're like, wow, we have that. And so how do we as parents take that seriously and still try to be whatever we had to be, lighter or supportive, or maybe there was something funny, but those kind of stories they're tough to like pick it up and put it down. And that it remains that challenge for us. And I loved it. I loved doing it. And we had to grow again, and we continue to grow as concerned and loving parents of flawed children who come from flawed parents. I mean, you have to realize almost all these kids of this coming generation, they all spent so much time in boarding schools somewhere.
That's true.
I mean, I thought
Jennifer.
That's right.
Carly and Jennifer.
Carly and Jennifer, yes.
Her matching rings.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Crystal and I would laugh so hard because we had to pretend we were back in boarding school.
I mean, it's like, JJ never came home. I said, when JJ comes home, we better watch out. And he did, and he was a good kid. But he has his own problems. But it's the way that we have all become such poor parents of it. But I mean, and we try to do our best. And I don't know if there's anything super about that, but we continue to try to bring that, the style of working together to be, so that it keeps playing, that hopefully there's still something there.
Mm-hmm.
Jack liked quality. Well, maybe just like his spontaneous kind of on the fly, I don't know what you're going to say next.
Thanks.
Just sort of like, yeah. And just, Matt is very intelligent. Jack's character is very intelligent, and being able to pull you into a conversation. And Jack was like that too. He would, suck me into these conversations. And I see that with Matt here at work all day. He'll pull someone into a conversation, and, he's like an encyclopedia. And he'll be like,
useless information.
I feel like your character was like that too. Just
lots of
highly intelligent, spontaneous, off the cuff, very exciting, pull people in. I mean, after a while, if your character's not so drastically different from yourself, after so many years, I think parts of you just slip in,
Sure. Matt, same question about Missy. What's Jennifer like?
Well, Missy has a lot of endurance. And she endures. She's able to take a and just like Jennifer, take a not very good situation sometimes and make something good out of it. Because many characters come into this situation, something like they're not happy, they're not kind, they've got their own thing going on. And Missy and Jennifer were able to kind of take that in, go, oh, okay, and then try to make something better of it. And I realized, we both kind of realized that definitely when Tom and Alice were no longer with us, is that we kind of missed people who had their first effort was to maybe be kind and to take in someone, and Missy's continued that. And so that there's a Horton trait is to try to accept the other. And sometimes they'll sit there and they'll want Missy to be more, oh, you got to like really drive this and make these people like golden. And she'll like, okay, but that she wants to really embrace them. We get a lot more further with a hug, but that's not necessarily going to make for a dynamic scene.
And I got so much of that from Frances. She really helped me. I was so young when I started, and I just feel like Frances was not my grandma, but she was a mentor to me. And I would just sit in her dressing room every day, and we would just talk. And then the way they wrote her character, she was that kind of character, very strong, very confident, family first, don't cross my family, but she could
teach you how to talk, or she would draw things out of characters. And so Missy has continued to do that. walk into a scene, and I would come in with a head full of steam and a attitude of like, I know more than you know, I'm smarter than anybody else in this room, and but then step on my own whatever. And then Missy would be able to like, okay, I'm just going to clean up here. You're this, and she can do that too. And that helped us. It helped us as a couple, and that certainly helps me
It's
too.
like a mom thing though too, right?
Yeah, but you had it.
You kind of like, okay.
Well, you did it before, but you've been doing it early on. You were doing it, trying to like, you take and include other performers, other people. And so
Oh,
and
I mean,
Yeah.
this is our family. It doesn't matter if you're gone for 5 years, whatever. There is just, and people always think, oh, it's not really like a family. I'm like, no, it really is a family. It's ugly sometimes and it's really bad sometimes, but that's family, and we all love each other. We all have such a beautiful history here. We all probably never expected to be here as long as we have been. And what an honor to say that we have been a part of this iconic show for the majority of our lives.
yeah.
And you don't think of that when you're young.
Nobody does.
No.
You don't realize the person to the right or to the left
No.
because, oh, this is a significant relationship in my life. I didn't think, oh, I guess I didn't really invest in this one. But here we are. And suddenly that's what's kind of wonderful. And like with Missy too, we're like, wow, we have played, and people start talking about, well, your TV wife is more than this. And we're like, yes. I'll say yes to that. And we're just lucky to have each other as that aspect, and also to be able to be friends.
Matt called us. We were in Tennessee, and he's all, hey, Lana and I were driving cross country. It was pouring rain. He's all, we're in Tennessee. Can we come spend the night at your house? We're like, yeah. He's all, I got some cats with us. I'm all, you're good. Come on.
I have cats.
Yeah, the cats.
Oh, gosh.
You know, made little pallets on the floor for the kids, and
loved it. Yeah.
I mean, it's you don't have friendships that can be that long.
Well, you have to be forgiving, and you have to be larger than that. And
this show is what
has bound a
binds
lot
us all together.
Yeah, a lot of great folks, and that's given us this and to realize. I mean, Bill Hayes just passed away, and the guy, he was kind of ostensibly working into his 97th, 98th year, and in this business that just doesn't happen. I mean, there are people who work. Dick Van Dyke, who's also on the show, work, but I mean, for people to really put in a significant part of their life, and it's been a blessing for us to be a chance to do that and to explore being young and getting older. And getting all, and that's what I think this show, we could share that, and we can share it in a very positive way, and we don't have to comment it on all the time. Just we're all getting older, and the audience sees that, and like they say, and so are we. We're all doing that.
Well, I feel over the years they've tried to break up Jack and Jennifer. It's never worked. They've always found their way back. So first of all, what does it mean to you that this couple is the end game, and do you feel they're the end game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they would have us work with other people, I would always be like, oh, but it's Jack and Jennifer. Like, it's just what it is, what we had such a great time all these years doing. And I remember a writer came in and they're like, we're killing off Jack. And I was like, what? I mean, we were all so shocked by that. And then we were glad because then the next writer came in and he came back to life. And I was like, listen, you are not killing him again, because I am not going to cry over this grave anymore.
Realize that it gets old. But then this, what some of, it happens more with the guys than the women. And it's just the vicissitudes of this business is like, I know like with Stephen and myself and a couple others, probably, we've had to like say, well, we're the guys, we go off and we, pursue some other star, or go here, there. You couldn't stick around. And like, yeah, I remember that. I remember those years. Yes. But we have to play it. It becomes part of it. And so we hopefully, just like those kids who go upstairs and don't come down for 30 years, or go off to boarding school and come
back 10 years older.
10 years older. We're also people who kind of come and go in life, but we're there. And it's kind of cool to be there for people, and also say we still got some tricks up our sleeve and some surprises for ourselves and hopefully everybody else.
You know what was so sweet? We actually shot a show, which I didn't know they were doing. And at the end on the Chiron, it says happy 40th anniversary, Melissa Reeves. And I was like, I was just excited because they were showing so many flashbacks, so I had less lines to learn. And I was like, this is great. I love flashbacks. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is literally my life.
Yeah.
On a day in September. And we filmed it so that it will air in September 2025 when I started September 1985. And I just thought that was so kind that they even thought of that. And, this was just a show. I thought, you sign a 3-year contract, but they're like, but don't get too comfortable because, that means like every 13 weeks they can let you go. So you're never 100% sure how long you're going to be there. And then I go, oh my gosh, Ken Corday has literally like made me his child and gave me a life and gave me my family and everything. It was the most beautiful, unexpected blessing of my life.
Yeah, unexpected.
Yeah.
In a very transient business.
And to still be here. For them no, we want you here. We're like, I'm almost 60. I remember we were looking at how old Frances was when she started, and I thought it was like 50.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
She would 54. You said, that's how old I am.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's been 2 years, 2 or 3. But she was dressed up in a certain way to make her look a little bit older. And I was talking to some folks who'd been on the show with her, and they said, or Susan, she said, Frances had to, however young the younger ones looked, Frances had to look that much older. And it was probably a challenge for her to do that. And now they don't necessarily do that with us, but but there's also nobody asking me to wear tank tops and I hope. Or
no pajama tops.
No pajama tops. Yeah, I'll wear a pajama top.
We both were kind of like that. We're like, oh.
No, I just mean
can do. Can't you give the bathing suits to those young people over there?
Over there. Well, I just meant we can talk.
I'm glad when we aged out of bathing suits.
Yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is there's the moments before and after and all that stuff in between us that I said the romance is taking place through all of that.
It's your whole life. Yeah, that's the romance.
And it's all
the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, and the fact that we could laugh at ourselves or try to do this or try to do that and try to be find a moment where you could be vulnerable not necessarily in front of anyone else, but vulnerable in front of your partner. And they would say, oh, here, let me help you. And realize those are the moments that people, if they can see an action or recognize, that they're going to look out for you. They're there for you. And that's what that speaks. And we've been able to do that to the extent that we have, and hopefully can more. And in 60 years, we're hopefully all doing that as we kind of get the memo and realize the story that we're telling is a positive story that has a lot of rough stuff that happens in it, but we can tell that, and the fact that people are still together is one of the most powerful and positive parts of the story.
Oh, Jack and Jennifer, of course. No, you know who I loved was All My Children. Oh my gosh.
Jenny and Greg.
I love Greg and Jenny. But the blonde and
Cliff and Nina.
Cliff and Nina.
Cliff and Nina.
Oh my gosh, I loved Cliff and Nina. And Scott was like, oh, I'm going to be on Y&R. I'm working with Peter Bergman. I'm like, no, you're working with Cliff.
You're working with Cliff, yes.
And Nina.
Oh, funny.
They were like it for me. Because I was an ABC watcher. Even when I got the job on Days, I was like, I don't know anybody on Days of Our Lives. It was like All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital, Edge of Night.
Well, it comes down to, I guess, a political idea of like, there are couples who are super together, and there's this idea of the super couple.
Remember Bob Woods?
Bobby Woods.
Bob Woods. When he came on our show, I was like, oh, Buchanan, not Asa. But he was Bo Buchanan. Yeah.
But some people have made their mark with a lot of different people. Yeah. I mean, Susan Lucci was with a lot of different men.
Yeah.
And everyone loved her. I mean, and I actually hats up to any guy who could stay the course with her, because like that's good. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's great. Um, but do you mean super couple on? I mean, super couples were Days of Our Lives, but then obviously
Yeah.
GH had its
Yeah. Like I think every show had their,
Every
like,
show had their version of
couples.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But we were first.
We were first.
Well-
we coined super couple phrase.
Well, I
But
mean,
Cliff and Nina were super
Cliff and
couple.
Nina. Well,
So what did you say?
well, who is what? It was Katie and on All My Children was
Tad and Dixie.
Tad and Dixie.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Tad and
because Michael. I
Dixie.
mean, I observed. I really liked what Michael was doing, and always. And together, I realized,
Katie.
oh, and she actually, she did some little time as Jennifer, and her
Yes,
whole point
I
was,
was honored.
she said, I just want to have fun. Like you guys have fun. I realized, oh, this is because this reminds you of what Tad and Dixie did.
Dixie.
And but she came on like, ain't gonna be much fun going on here. Not of that particular story beat. But I would say they were pretty amazing.
Huge.
There
Yes.
were some people who I used to judge, and I love judging Best Supporting Actress because you always got just amazing, and you realize I watched relationships and I never saw the whole thing, but like there were some wonderful people. I can't remember their names, but they were just all over. They were just wonderful relationships. I realized that they had great material to work with, and it wasn't the same. And very often the stakes were very. They had to show something. They had to share something of themselves, and whoever they were with, they were felt safe sharing that. And I thought, like, that's special. That's something, and that's something I've always treasured with Missy. So I mean, I gave it kind of a non-answer answer. I saw lots of
You said
super
Tad and
couples.
Dixie. That
I
was
said Tad and
great.
Dixie. I
And
gave
they
some-
were excellent.
They
Yeah.
were excellent, and yes, and
Yeah.
remain to be excellent people. But we got a chance to continue with these characters. They haven't disappeared into the stardust yet, so I'm holding out for Jack and Jennifer to keep climbing
With our bad hips.
with their bed heels. Oh yeah, yeah. Back. We'll take the other one.